So, working on the seat. I got the top half of it is done. It was pretty easy. You just slide it on there. But I think some of these wrinkles will come out once it's actually been sitting for a while. So I'm not worried about the wrinkles there. Did all the hog rings on it. And I think the top looks pretty good. So that was the easy part. Doing the bottom, it's not going as well as I hoped. I put the cover on there a couple times and it fits nice and snug on the back of the seat and on the top of the seat, but then it has some wrinkles on the side, which isn't too bad, but on the front of it, it would have almost a 1-inch overhang, and then when you would put pressure on the seat, you would have something like this just kind of sticking out, like the foam was too small or the seat cover itself is too big. And I tried moving the foam, making sure I had the foam in the right spot, and the foam was lined up. So trying to think of a way to fix it, and then the whole front of it was real loose. It just flapped around, so there was no tension on it. So I would assume that the cover itself is bigger. I got a lot of slack underneath it where you're supposed to be hog ringing it, and it sticks past the frame itself an inch if you were to make it tight. So I'm going to go with the fact that the cover itself is bigger than the foam, and what I've decided to do is, before I take this off, I ended up cutting this out so that I could put the seat belt, I guess the trim piece, whatever you want to call it. You don't get any instructions with the seat cover itself, so I just put it on there on the top of it and made sure I had a big enough hole so that it can actually slide into there. I still got to paint them, so I'm just going to put the lock ring inside of the seat cover, and then once they're painted and dried, then I can just stick them in there and clip them into place. They just snap in there, so it won't be that hard to do, and there's enough slack to be able to pull it out. But I watched as many videos as I could, but no one ever talks about this section. They don't say, because when you get the cover, it's still all there. It just has a little flap on the top, and then you have all the stitching that goes through there. So they don't cut that out. I just went with it and cut it out. So that's what I did on that. So to try to fix it, I've decided to, it's either $250 for a seat bottom, which there ain't no way I'm spending $250 for a seat foam on a truck that will be just a weekend toy. So 2 moving blankets from Harbor Freight at $8 a piece, $16. I ended up doing one, wrap it around, and hog ringing it together, and then I did the second one, wrapped it around, hog ringed it, and then just trim off all the excess that I don't need. Then just hog ringed around where the seatbelt goes through. You can't see it, so it may not look very beautiful. But on the first one, I did it so that it sits inside of the channel of the foam. It's kind of hard to see, but that channel is where this is going to end up getting pushed into, so it's not causing any kind of interference. But I wrapped it around the moving blanket around, hog ringed it together, and then when I did the second one, I hog ringed that through the first layer also. So it's basically double hog ring together all the way across. And then I did the same thing on the seat belts. Razor blade, cut it out, a pair of scissors, trim it, and then hog ring it together. So hopefully that's going to fix it. And then I left enough slack on the sides. I trimmed just the back of it and then the front. So once the foam is on, the cover's on there, it can just go like that. It doesn't matter that it's bunching up because this is going to be at a lower point and it's not going to show on the seat cover itself. So I just cut it out and then hog ring these together. I just did the outside layer. It's hog ringed together so that it can't move side to side. So that's how I ended up doing it. We'll see how it looks once I get it back together. But same concept when I did the frame itself, putting this on the frame. It's got plenty of loose slack in it, so when you're sitting in it, it's not going to be trying to rip the hog rings apart. So, but it's not going to show because the seat cover itself has foam on top of it. So that should cover up any kind of little wrinkles, but I'm not too worried about it. It's just snug enough to be moderately tight, but not over excessive. Just kind of wrapped it around and that was it. So once I get it done and get it in the truck, we'll see how it looks like.